20% of America has a mental illness, and that's important to today's employer because that is part of your workforce. And so what does a business do to protect itself, but also at the same time help these employees? One of the first and most important things to understand is the stigma against mental illness. One of the reasons people don't know that much about mental illness is because people can't talk about it without fear of discrimination or people thinking of them as weird or whatever. A lot of people get their information about the mentally ill from television shows, and when you watch a television show, you need to understand that 60% of the time a mentally ill person is portrayed, they are portrayed committing a violent crime, and the reality is that the mentally ill are more likely to be victims of violent crimes than actually to commit them. So, depression is the largest, as far as lost productivity goes for an illness, depression is it. You lose an average of 27 days for somebody who's suffering from depression. And that's a combination of work days and loss of productivity. It's it's over a month of work days. So why is this such a problem? Why people aren't getting treatment? 57% of these people are getting treatment, and of that only a much smaller portion are getting adequate treatment. So what needs to happen is people need to be brought, get past the stigma and gotten to treatment so that we can get past this. To some of the problems that you will have with the mentally ill is increase in errors, poor decision making, increase in accidents, also some some inappropriate behavior, maybe almost fights with others, employees, and things of that nature. But the reality is, if you get people treated, pretty much these all go away. Reduce in job-related accidents, sick days, employee turnover, and productivity goes up. So it's a win-win. Some of the stressors for mentally ill in the workplace are going to be isolated working conditions, inflexible work schedules, coworker relations, and discrimination. And some of these, you might say, well, everybody experiences those, but mentally ill experience them a little more acutely than the average person does. And because mental illness is a disability, they are eligible for the American Disability Act, so they get accommodations. And some of these accommodations can be moving to a quieter area for people who have concentration issues. Also, beverages for people who have dry mouth from medications, flexible work schedules so they can get to their medical appointments, and job reassignment if that is necessary. And a very important point which I will ask is, are your managers trained for mental illness, trained to deal with the mentally ill? What would they do if a associate came up to them and had to talk to them about an accommodation or maybe needing a leave of absence or whatnot? So you want to make sure that you are trained in how to deal with mentally ill employees, have some understanding of mental illness, and also understand what the company's policies are, and that they can't discriminate against these people, because when they come to you, they are taking a bit of a risk. They don't know if you're going to hold that against them. They don't know if that just costs them a promotion by asking you for an accommodation. So it has to be handled very delicately. And the great answer to all of these problems are employee assistance programs. It's your way to help your employees deal with these issues. And there can be things like telephone conversations. They can call up counselors and tell them whatever's going on with them. And if you integrate your benefits with them, then they can refer directly within their network somebody for them to see and hopefully successfully deal with that. So in conclusion, I would prioritize number one, making sure that you have an inclusive environment in that the stigma of mental illness does not exist in your workplace. And number two, I make sure that your management is trained so that they know what to do if something happens with one of your associates. And someone comes to them, they know what to say and what to do. So thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed it. You have a great day. Thank you.